Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here with FS Detail Garage. We're going to replace the window motor in the E30 today. It's going to be these 3 bolts and then a few screws on the opposite side. Relatively easy. If you're questioning, well, how do I remove the door panel? It's pretty easy as well. The hardest part is removing it across this top side, but once you remove your, sorry, this is holding up the inner plastic, but once you remove your lock piece off and you get all your plastics popped out of each one of these perimeter holes that you see here, and really all you have to do to remove those is you will take a tool just like this or anything flat, screwdriver, pop it, slide it in under the door panel and pop outwards. And you have perimeter ones all the way around, as well as where your door handle is, just like this. You have a screw there that you can see. So one there, it's a Phillips that you'll remove. And then right under the armrest as well, you have 2 Phillips there, remove those. The little door handle comes off and then you can pop the panel off to get to where we're at now. So if you're gonna remove the regulator, the door panel is very easy to remove. So first and foremost, to get this regulator free, there is going to be, okay, so sure you can kind of see here, we have a screw right there, and another one right here, one above right here, and then another there. So this is directly behind the 3 screws. I have the camera inside the door looking at those. We have to remove those. So again, those screws, it's hard to get the camera back there, but there, what we were looking at was literally right back here. So 2 across the top, 2 across the bottom. We're going to use a 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch socket, Phillips drive right in there. And so on for the other 2 down there. So once we get these out, before we remove these, we're going to take a wooden block, or if you have a friend to actually hold the window up in case it were to drop, we need to support that. So I've stuck a board up in here just to keep the window supported. So I'm actually just going to use the Allen key here to set the window down slightly on top of it. So now we're on top of it, stopped. So here's where our window motor gets power. We're literally gonna pinch on the sides here and then pull it out. That's all that's connecting it. Okay, now we're gonna continue on moving the screws from the rear of the motor here and get it off the actual window framework that moves it. Okay, once those come off, that will come off the back piece there. And on the back piece is where the actual, this rod that we see right here, this keeps it up against the, I guess it's gonna be a geared wheel up against there. So that's what's holding that in. So once we remove these 3 here, we can push back on this rod and then this should all ultimately come out and downwards. So these are 10 millimeters, unless somebody's already been in here. So you just need to push far enough on this to actually get this all the way to drop out. Pretty easy, not too complicated. So now we're going to see
if there's anything we can repair in this. If not, we're just gonna buy a new one. Looked like they were anywhere around 60 to 100 bucks on the internet, so we'll get that done. So we're gonna start off with T25 Torx. I remove this from the housing here. We got a gear in here, which is ultimately the gear right here to spin the window up and down. And then this is our worm drive that spins it all. So we need to try to remove this plastic insert. Okay, so you can see, I guess you can see what it looks like in there. So this literally just rides these brushes, I guess is what they are as well. Not 100% here, but it's just kind of basic technology. So we want to clean all this stuff up so that this stuff rides on each other cleanly, and hopefully that'll make this motor work. If not, we're going to be buying a new motor and just slapping it in there. So not a big deal either way, but if we can get these brushes cleaned up. So now I actually took this apart further. This is down in here. So I just literally pulled it out. You can actually see the damage on the on it here. These pieces should all look like this. So it's obviously been askew in here, and it's been rubbing the interior magnets. If we look down in there, that shaft that it rides on, this should look like, you know, that should look like this. So we need to clean all this up really, really well, and then try to get down in there and clean that up. Then hopefully this thing will actually work. So I think I'm going to soak this with some WD-40 or some actually I'll probably use some liquid wrench. We're just going to let that soak. I'll actually take a brass brush here and clean up this. Okay, so I thought I had the camera on and I did not, so I apologize. While I had the camera off, I cleaned up this. This was all completely corroded and rusted. It did not even look like this. So we got the ends to match. That was the end that was down in there. That's got some liquid wrench penetrating in there to break all that stuff up. I did sand this down a little bit more with the 2000 to get that clean. Not sure how much you guys actually seen already, but this was the damage from where this thing had been going sideways and just eating up the magnets on the inside. So we got it all cleaned up now here. We just now need to focus on that. And once we get this cleaned up, I don't think we really need to try to attempt to pull out any of the magnets or anything from in here. I think we just literally need to do our best to have it as clean as possible. Really is kind of the answer here. So and I think the biggest problem is they have like a moisture drain here, but the drain is up above where it's actually sitting, so like it's rusting and causing its own problem in that. I'm gonna go blast the penetrating oil out of here. Let's see if that even actually. It already spins a lot easier. So we're just gonna put a little bit of grease here. So I don't know, right or wrong. but I'm going to use this EP Molly grease. I figure any grease is better than no grease, so yeah, pretty simple stuff. Let's try not to get the oil or the grease all over the magnet as we jam this thing down in here. There we go. Oh, okay, well, it's a whole lot better than it was. I have a lot better feeling that this may actually fix it. Let's hope. So when we go to assemble, so easy way to show you right now, our brushes are spring loaded each side, so we need to shove these back as we're sliding this over so that we can get them to contact properly here. Okay, so we're just gonna get this as straight as we can, and we're going to kind of kick that, kicked that one down, it's holding back. We're gonna push that one and slide it right down. Okay, so now we're on there. This thing's actually spinning and moving now. Okay. On the actual threads, keep everything working nice. And then just put a nice little amount here. Now reassemble. And I'll be honest, this may even, this design here is pretty basic to kind of some other regulators I've seen. So even if you don't have an E30, you may have something that looks similar to this, and it's probably similar repair. So now let's go plug this into the car and see if it works. Okay, so I've got the window regulator plugged in, and we have a working regulator now. So to put it back in is going to be a reverse of how we pulled it out there.